is going on, guys? It's your boy Dylan the Villain, and we're coming back at you once again with some more Total Extreme Wrestling. We are Saturday, week 3, August of '97, and we are almost there to SummerSlam, one of the biggest pay-per-views of the year. And we gotta have to start hyping up SummerSlam here tonight. We have some big stories moving here tonight in an abysmal, but before we get to the main show, we gotta get to the, we gotta get the pre-show taken care of. In an abysmal pre-show match, we had a tryout. We had tryout matches for some newly signed developmental talent of S.A. Rios and R. Killings. They did a pretty good match, 31. I wasn't expecting a banger of a match here, but S.A. Rios with a 31 and R. Killings with a 25. Announcing color commentary gave the match a boost. And we move on to our other pre-show matchup, which is Mike Awesome defeating Rick Steiner in 247 by pinfall with an Awesome Bomb. Mike Awesome with a 62 and Rick Steiner with a 63. The match got a 57. Nelson Color Commentary gave the match a boost, and Mike Awesome benefited from having a hot new move. Mike Awesome slowly but surely moving up the card here in the World Wrestling Federation. But we are going to go ahead and start the show. And we open up, and it's Jim Cornette, and he's talking about the big main event for tonight. We open up the show. It's not Jim Cornette. I apologize. We open up the show, and it's basically hyping up the big main event for tonight. We are going to see Rob Van Dam take on Rey Mysterio, take on Dean Malenko. Pretty much a rematch from the fully loaded pay-per-view for the light heavyweight title. We are going to find out who is going to move on to SummerSlam as the light heavyweight champion. And also we have an interview with Owen Hart talking about why he turned his back on his friend Kurt Angle. This segment got a 89. I thought it was going to do better. But both of them struggled going off script, which is quite unusual. And all the storylines advanced. But the Broken Heart storyline lost heat, which is quite sad. But we are going to move on to the next segment. And it is our opening contest as Ken Shamrock defeats Mark Marrow with an ankle lock. Ken Shamrock with an 85 and Mark Marrow with a 65. The segment got a 79, and Sable did some good ring work outside. We go on to this segment, and it is talking about the big matchup that is going to happen on Monday Night Raw, the huge main event of Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Rock. The winner will move on to SummerSlam to face Chris Jericho for the vacant WWF Intercontinental Championship. As we know, Vince McMahon asked Triple H to vacate the title since he is going to SummerSlam to face for the World Heavyweight Championship. Vince McMahon said it's only fair to have the title defended at one of the biggest pay-per-views of the year. So he asked Triple H to vacate the title. And Triple H basically said, here, take it. You can have it. I know I'm going to go to SummerSlam. I know I'm going to win. You can have it. And he threw the title on Vince McMahon's desk and walked out. But that brings us to The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin. They will have a huge main event matchup on Monday Night Raw to determine who will be the #1 contender facing Chris Jericho for that vacant Intercontinental Championship. Will it be Stone Cold Steve Austin? Will it be The Rock? The winner will advance, but the loser will be fired. We've had this before. Vince McMahon threatened to fire people, but I guess he is a man of his word. He's not a fan of Stone Cold Steve Austin, and he doesn't like The Rock because of Stephanie McMahon having feelings for The Rock. We are going to have to find out who's going to win that matchup on Monday Night Raw. And who will be moving on to SummerSlam and who will be getting their pink slips, we will have to find out. We're going to move on to the next segment, which is a tag team contest to determine the #1 contenders for the WWF Tag Team Championship. APA defeated the Legion of Doom when Farouk pinned Road Warrior Animal with a denominator. The match got a 63. Bradshaw was the weak link, struggling to keep up with everybody else. Bradshaw with a 55. That's still pretty good. Farouk with a 78. Road Warrior Hawk with a 79, and Animal with a 72. Both teams have the tag team specialist, but Road Warrior Animal and Hawk have excellent chemistry when teaming together, and like always, announcing color commentary gave the match a boost. We move on to the next segment, which is the Owen Hart promo, and he basically says that Kurt Angle's an idiot for 1 second, thinking that he was going to turn his back on family. Owen Hart says blood has always been thicker than water, and at the end of the day, he's going to make sure his brother stays at top, and he's going to do whatever he has to make sure that his brother stays on top. He tells Kurt Angle, no hard feelings, it's just business. Give me 1 second. Let me get a sip of my liquid death here. Sponsored, not sponsored liquid death here. He basically tells him that he's going to do whatever it takes. Blood's thicker than water. He's going to do whatever he has to make sure that Bret stays on top. Whether it's becoming friends with a stupid American like Kurt Angle, and he proved why Americans are stupid. He didn't like Kurt Angle since the day he stepped in here. Not one time has he respected Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle is just a young rookie who's not going to amount to anything here in the World Wrestling Federation. And he might as well just pack up and go home. Back to wherever the hell he came from. He says it's no hard feelings, it's just business. Hopefully Kurt understands. And Michael Cole's just like, well, thank you for your time. And Owen's like, yep. And that's the end of that segment. The segment got 100. Basically, he says he's just going to do what he has to do to protect the Hart family. And Kurt's an idiot for believing him. So we move on to the next segment. And it is Owen Hart as he defeats Ahmed Johnson with an inverted power driver. The match got a 77. Owen Hart with a 93. And Ahmed Johnson with a 65. And this is basically hyping up that big pay-per-view level main event that we're going to have on Monday Night Raw when Stone Cold Steve Austin takes on The Rock in the main event. The winner receiving an Intercontinental Championship matchup, while the loser will be once again fired by the World Wrestling Federation and Vince McMahon. We're going to move on to the next segment, and it is Terry Funk taking on Raven, and Terry Funk pulls up the upset win and defeats Raven for the Hardcore Championship, followed by interference by the Big Show, and Terry Funk wins the WWF Hardcore title. Raven with a 94, golly's over. And Terry Funk with an 85. Death to Hardcore. Well, this was a hardcore matchup, so I would imagine both of these men would do some awesome ratings. The match got a 92. I don't even think our main event's going to do this good. I was fighting for a while on what I wanted to put the main event for the night. And I obviously should have put this as the main event for the night. But I have faith in my boys. So we move on to the next segment. And it is basically Terry Funk celebrating as Raven cannot believe that he lost the Hardcore title to Terry Funk. Raven is definitely going to have to regroup to gain back the title, and Big Show celebrates with Terry Funk. We're going to move on to the next segment here, and it is our main event. It only got an 85. Still an amazing matchup. All men, Dean Malenko with an 85, Rey Mysterio with an 85, and Rob Van Dam with an 86. The storyline lost heat, and Rob Van Dam and Jim Cornette have good chemistry together. Rob Van Dam picks up the win. Of course he does. It's Rob Van Dam. But he beats Dean Malenko with a 5-star frog splash. Rob Van Dam makes defense number 1 of the WWF Light Heavyweight title. I guess this is his first title defense. Yeah, he won it back at... I already thought he defended the title. I guess not. But he defends his championship here tonight. And Jim Cornette grabs the microphone and he starts cutting a promo and he goes, You see, like I said, Rob Van Dam is the best athlete in the World Wrestling Federation. Better yet, he's the best all-around athlete in the world. Rob Van Dam is going to be the first ever light heavyweight champion and world heavyweight champion here in the World Wrestling Federation. You can mark my words, it's going to happen. He is going to be bigger than anything. He's going to be bigger than big. He's going to be the main event here in the future. He's going to be big. There's nobody in the light heavyweight division who can hold a candle to him. There's nobody in the back who is good enough. There's nobody here in the world. There's nobody anywhere who is good enough. He's beat Rey Mysterio. He's beat Dean Malenko. He's beat Ultimo Dragon. He's beat anybody in the light heavyweight division. He's beaten them all. He's beaten them all. There's nobody. And all of a sudden you hear somebody goes, in a very thick Spanish accent goes, "He hasn't beat me, Holmes." And all of a sudden, Eddie Guerrero, that's right, Eddie Guerrero is back from his suspension. Eddie Guerrero, hopefully he doesn't get suspended before the pay-per-view. But Eddie Guerrero is back from his suspension. And Jim Cornette is shocked. He was like, "I thought you were fired. I thought you were gone. I thought you were never coming back here." And Eddie Guerrero just stands there, and Rob Van Dam's like looking at Jim Cornette like, "What, like, what's going on?" And Jim Cornette's freaking out and everything like that. This segment got a 90. It advances the segment, and we're going to go ahead and finish the show. The show did pretty good, a 92. Increased our popularity in 33 regions. Not a bad show. A lot of blue. A lot of blue. The worst match of the night being the APA matchup. But overall, I mean, yeah, that Ken Shamrock, Mark Mero did better than the APA versus Legion of Doom. That's quite surprising. The main event did pretty good. I'm happy with an 85. That's a pretty good matchup right there. We're going to go ahead and finish the show. Enough of me talking. Jesus. That was an awesome Shotgun Saturday night. Eddie Guerrero is back here in the World Wrestling Federation. He came back from suspension. He is back. He is ready to go. And it looks like he is going to be challenging Rob Van Dam for that light heavyweight title. Lance Storm is back at 100%. He got injured a while back at a house show, but it was a minor injury that he can work through. But now he's 100%. That's why we haven't been seeing a lot of Lance Storm lately. I didn't want him to injure himself anymore. Thank y'all for watching, guys. Thank y'all for liking the video, for those of y'all do. Thank y'all for leaving a comment down below. I will comment back. You leave a comment down below, I will get back to you and comment as quickly as possible. But I will reply back. I love interacting with everybody who leaves a comment. I love talking to y'all. I like getting to know what y'all like, what y'all don't like. Everything like that. It helps me with my booking. After SummerSlam, this is why I also kind of been stretching out these episodes and taking my time with it. But we have the ECW save that can fill in that spot for TEW. But after SummerSlam, we are going to be taking a little TEW break from the WWF save, so I can write story all the way up to Survivor Series. Which I have a pretty good idea what I'm going to do, but we are going to be writing story for Survivor Series. So we're going to be taking like a month hiatus from TEW, WWF save for that meantime. Just giving y'all a heads up and letting y'all know what's going on with that. If y'all don't see an episode for a while. That's kind of also why I've been stretching out these episodes and not trying to book them boom, 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 and trying to take my time, because I enjoy booking this save, and I enjoy doing this save a lot. But I am also enjoying doing the ECW save a lot. Hopefully y'all like the storylines that I came up with for that. I wrote, I pretty much have a whole year planned out, of all the way up to November to Remember. I have everything planned out, that being like their WrestleMania or Starrcade. I have everything pretty much planned out and where everybody's gonna do and what's gonna happen. So there is that. Hopefully y'all are enjoying the ECW save. But guys, Anyway, if you're new to the channel and like what you see, subscribe icon will be over Shotgun Saturday Night. And if you like this episode and want to go back and watch other episodes, that playlist will be right here. And if you want to check out the ECW episodes, the first episode will be right here. Over here, and available articles over here. My name is Dylan the Villain, guys. And like we always say here at Pro Am Gaming, if you can't play with each other, do what I do and play with yourself. See you all on the next one.